Joining us on the program now from the New Zealand Christian Network, Reverend Dr Stuart Lange. Stuart, kia ora, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, kia ora tātou.
I mean, this is certainly from a Ngāti Pākehā point of view, a relatively new thing for most New Zealanders. We're still getting our heads around what is Matariki, what does that mean for us, what should we do to commemorate it. Then you add a spiritual layer or a spiritual lens, and there's certainly some questions on this one. We've had a bit of feedback, shall we say, to the program this week. What's your take on it? Stuart, is Matariki a redeemable celebration?
Well, I just want to start with, the caution, a command really from God that we should worship no other gods. And like Deuteronomy 4:19, when you look up at the sky and see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the heavenly array, don't be enticed into bowing down to them and worshipping things the Lord your God is apportioned to all the nations under heaven. So kind of the non-negotiable for Christians and for any monotheist is that God is God and he's created the heavenly bodies, but we're not to worship them or see them as divine. So that's really not a line we could ever cross. But I guess we can be pleased that Parliament has established one of yet another holiday, which is good in itself, but
all
one that actually pays respect to Maori culture. Some of them are Christian, some of them are other stuff, and all of them have some connection, like labour. Maori work and Maori under the British Crown, as we all are, and lightly now. But and then Easter and Christmas belong to Maori as much as to anybody, especially Christian Maori. But this one honours Maori culture and essentially the Maori New Year. So we can be glad about that. And a lot of Christians feel, well, in sort of broad terms, we can be respectful of that, and pick up the sort of themes like honouring Maori, a time of harvest and of planting, of remembering those who've died in the last year, celebrating our loved ones now, and of looking ahead in hope. So those are very general things. And so if we did have something to talk about Matariki, those are things we could do as a family, or as a church, or whatever. But as for seeing the Matariki constellation as divine creatures to whom we would have ritual incantations and thank offerings of food, that's a no-go. So that's a long sentence.
That's very, very clear there and important, I suppose, to get the distinction. There's also been some comments that have come back that there seems to be a particular focus on the Maori spirituality aspects of this, with the resurgence of Matariki, and certainly in some public commemorations and what is being taught in schools through the school curriculum. It is a bit more focused on the old gods, as it were. It is a bit more focused on Maori spirituality before Christianity, rather than something which is a little bit broader. There is a specific focus in some of the commemorations.
Yeah, well, the assumption is of many Pakeha and of many non-Christian Māori that recovering from the suffering under, along with the good things of colonialism, would include a reversion to pre-Christian Māori spiritual beliefs and Māori wairua, Māori God atua. So, of course, Christian Māori don't see it that way at all. Māori embraced Christianity in vast numbers maybe 80% of Māori
Yeah.
back in the day, or more. Latest sort of studies indicate. And so the tupuna of current Māori were predominantly Christian. So that's very, very much a Māori Christianity. And so to be Māori doesn't necessarily mean that one goes back to pre-Christian beliefs. So that's a divide within Māoridom.
Yeah.
But as Christians, whether Māori or whatever, we have a line we can't really cross there.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
I suppose the question that some people will be asking is, okay, we live in a multicultural society. There are people with different views and beliefs. As people of faith, should this be a no-go zone, or can we engage alongside people that have different beliefs to us in this situation? And some of the feedback that we've been getting is it appropriate to go to a dawn service in my community as long as I'm not praying to the stars, I'm praying to the God who created the stars?
Yeah, it's a difficult dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're in the presence of people doing karakia to divinize stars, does that compromise us or not? And I think that's a matter of conscience. So all sorts of other things in all cultures, like it's like Diwali or going into a mosque or a Buddhist temple and so on, and we're not worshipping other gods, but it's going on all around us.
Yeah. And
I think we've got to decide before God, try and seek the mind of God. What are we comfortable with, and what do we think God is comfortable with?
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't be comfortable with those incantations. I wouldn't deliberately put myself in that position.
Yeah.
But sometimes we are. When there's a karakia, if we listen carefully, we know it's not a Christian prayer.
Yeah.
It is invoking pre-Christian Māori atua.
Yeah.
So that's the reality of life in our decolonizing New Zealand.
Certainly a complicated area which needs some discernment, and I appreciate for some people this is a no-go space, and for other people they feel confident to be able to step into that space with caution. Stuart, thank you very much for your wisdom and insight on this matter. Thanks for joining us.
Ngā nui.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.